In today's exercise, we're going to try out some Hanon. Now, Hanon exercises are a very, very popular way of exercising your fingers and getting them going really, really fast and strong. So this is what the book looks like. It's Hanon the Virtuoso Pianist, and there are 60 exercises to get your hands moving. But this is quite advanced, so it might not be something you do quite yet. As you can see, these exercises are quite involved, and there's 60 different ones. But actually the first few, once you get your head around them, aren't too bad. So you can definitely do these. We're going to take them nice and slowly. The idea of Hanon is you learn all these exercises, you follow the music as you play with both hands to help your sight reading, and eventually you get really, 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 really fast. I used to have a piano teacher that could do this whole book so quickly, it was crazy to watch. I could never keep up. But again, it's practice. If you were to do this every single day, then you would probably be able to get there. But for now, we're just going to do this first exercise. And we're going to do it nice and slowly. We're going to do it 50 beats per minute today. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you how it's played. We're playing eighth notes here. So 2 notes to every beat, and there are 4 beats in each bar. And all we're doing is going up and down the piano with our 5 fingers. So how this works is we start on the C, but you're going to miss the D when you play. So instead of going up to the G with your 5 fingers, we're going to go up to the A. So we're missing out that D. So we go C, E, F, G, A. But when we come back down, we're going to land on the D. Okay, so we start on the C, we go to the E, we come back down to the D. And at that point, we can do this again. So we miss the E and we land on the F. Go up and down. But your thumb falls on the E, so we can then move up again. So do you see how it works? This is how we move up the piano. But when we come back down, we land on the D. And then we can do the same thing here. We can do D, F, G, A, B, but come back down to the E. And then we can move up again. And this is how we move up the piano. And we're going to do 2 octaves from C to C. So if I do this slowly from the start, and every 2 bars we are changing the dynamics as well. So we're going to start off loud. I won't do it to the metronome yet. It's a very slow metronome. I'll do that at the end. For now, let's start on the C, and remember we miss one, and we're loud. Down to D. And then we miss to the F. And then we move on to piano, so nice and quiet. And then we're on to line 2 when we land on this G, and we're FF, so very loud. And then for landing on the B, we're super quiet, PP. Now at this point, when we get to the beginning of line 3, we've come down and landed on an E at the very end of line 2. At this point, we need to come back down the piano. So all we do is exactly the same, but the other way around. So for the beginning of line 3, we jump back up to the A, and then you miss one on the way down. So instead of coming all the way down your 5, you're going to miss the G and go from A to F. And then you come up to the G. And then you miss one to hit the E. And then we come all the way up our 5 to the F. But we miss one on the way down. And then come up our 5 to the E. And then we miss one to the C, and so on all the way down. So just to show you that very end bit again, at the very end of line 2, that last bar, we're on the C, the very last bar of line 2, we miss 1 to the E. To come down, we go back to the A. And we do this all the way down until we get to the bottom. And the last bar, the very last bar of line 4, it's A going to the F, coming back up to the F. Instead of going to the G, that little extra note I've put at the very end of line 4 is just coming down to a C. And that's how you can end it. But you don't have to, you can just stop at the C. So to start off with, you can just go through this exercise without taking too much notice of the dynamics. And then once you're a bit more confident at it, you can try it with the dynamics. I've set this to 50 beats per minute. I'm going to do it nice and slowly, starting from the C. So pause the video and just have a bit of a practice on your own. I'm going to play it with the dynamics that I've written. You can do that when you're ready. So let's give it a go. I'll count us in. And remember, we're hitting 2 notes to each beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. In today's exercise, we're going to do the same Hanon exercise we learnt in our right hand, but we're going to do it in the left. So it is exactly the same. The only difference is you're starting on your little finger. So this is middle C here. You're going to start this C below it. So exactly the same thing. You start on the C and you miss 1. But of course you are starting with these 2 weak fingers. So if you can't do this exercise because these fingers are too weak, then just practice slowly doing a few. So even if you just start by trying to do the first couple and then you stop there, that's fine. It's just getting these fingers strengthened. If you can't do it at all, you could just do the bottom 3. And then move up 1 and just keep practicing these little fingers. Move up 1. Your fingers will ache after a while, but eventually they'll strengthen up. And at that point you can then try this exercise. If you're okay to do it, then give the exercise a go. So we're going from the C to the E. And then we travel our 5 fingers down and land on the D and keep going. Go all the way up until the end of line 2. Which is now. So the last bar of line 2 is this C. So we're missing one to the E, come up to the A, but instead of coming all the way down to the D, we jump back up to that A. And then for the beginning of line 3, we're coming down. So we're on the A at the beginning of line 3, we miss one, we come down, we travel up, miss one, travel down, travel up, miss one, and we do this all the way down. So practice this nice and slowly, and when you've got the left hand going strong, you can take a look at these dynamics and try and play it to the dynamics and try and play it to a metronome. I'm going to play it now to 50 beats per minute. Only play along when you're strong enough, and it may take you a while. You can keep revisiting this exercise until you get there. But I'll play it through to 50 beats per minute now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... In today's exercise, we're going to carry on with the Hanon exercise that we've been doing. We've done it in our right and left hands now. We're going to do it again in the right hand, but we're going to speed it up. So this is only for those of you that feel confident to give this a go, because I'm going to speed it right up to 80 beats per minute, and you have only been doing 50. Now, if you don't feel like you're there yet, then just do it at your own pace. If you've been doing it at 50 and you're feeling confident, then move it up to 60, and then move it up to 70, and just make your way up. I'm going to play it today at 80, so you can give it a go if you like, but if not, then this is a good target to have. So I'll count us in. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... In today's exercise, we're going to try the Hanon in the left hand a bit faster. So if you've managed to get to 50 beats per minute, then you can either slowly make your way up to 80 beats per minute, or you can just stay where you are until you feel ready. I'm going to play it now in the left hand at 80 beats per minute, so you can see where your target is. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. In today's exercise, we're going to try the Hanon we've been doing in the right and the left hand, but we're going to try both hands together. Now, some of you will just not be here yet. If you're not, you just need to carry on doing what you're doing, practicing with the right hand, practicing with the left hand, doing it nice and slowly until you've built yourself up to be able to do it to the metronome at 50 beats per minute. And work your way up to 80 beats per minute with your hands separately. And if you want to give it a go with both hands together, then do that with me today. If not, just keep practicing your right and left hands. So hands together, they are doing exactly the same thing as far as the notes are concerned, but obviously your fingers are the other way round. So we just start nice and slowly. Working your way up the piano with both hands. And it may take some practice, or you might have it straight away. You can just go up, you don't have to come back down again if you're not ready. Getting to the end of line 2 now. This is when we go back up to the A, come down. Towards the end of line 4 and end on that C. Again, this will take some time, so you'll probably have to come and revisit this exercise when you're ready. I'm going to play it through now to the metronome at 50 beats per minute. But if you do end up smashing it, then that can be your own little target to make your way all the way up to 80 beats per minute, or maybe even faster. But I'm going to play this now to 50, so I'll count us in and I'll do the dynamics as well. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.